What's up, my Central Unit? Is the Central Man here. So this is my review of Royal Rumble 2026. This is the first Royal Rumble event to take place outside of North America. The show was in Saudi Arabia. Well, kind of, because they did the greatest Royal Rumble back in 2018. It's technically WWE's first pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia. I don't want to get into that. That's a future review for another time. So let's begin with the show. By the time this video is uploaded on YouTube, the Royal Rumble season for 2026 is in our rearview mirrors, and the month of January is in our rearview mirrors. So anyway, so let's begin with the show to review. So the first match to kick off the show, we got the Women's Royal Rumble match. This was filler. It's not a bad Women's Rumble match, but it's kind of the weakest Women's Rumble match I saw since they've been doing Women's Rumble matches since 2018. There's nothing much to talk about with this Women's Royal Rumble match. It's just basically like women's in tag teams, turning each other, not breaking up, but kind of like accidentally eliminate their tag team partner in the Rumble match. I get the concept of the Royal Rumble match is every man and woman to themselves, the last man and woman standing. So yeah, I don't want to go in details about this Rumble match. Just like I said, there's nothing much to talk about, and I'm going to repeat myself throughout the whole review when I'm speaking when I'm reviewing the women's and the men's Rumble matches. I think some of these guys and girls are, they're not quite ready. They're not quite ready to main event or win a world title in WWE. And others that just really had their time in the sun for now. So, not really a shocking return. I think the only one you could say kind of is the Bellas. We got the return of Brie Bella. The fans were chanting yes. I'm not expecting Daniel Bryan coming back. I think he's done with wrestling. I think he's done with WWE. He's been in the company for a decade, being a star there. Now he's in AEW. You could say he had an okay. So far, he had an okay run. He had I think he had a neck injury. Now he's a commentator. So, and the guy is nearly 45, in his mid 40s now. I think it's a bit. If they attempt to do this, if Bryan managed to come back to WWE, I think they have to do it quick. He's not really a spring chicken. Anyway, so they eliminated both Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. They did the loser chance. I guarantee if that was in America, they'll get booed. They got cheered, but that's in Saudi Arabia. But if it's in America, they'll likely get booed. I think the problem why people hate the Bellas, Nikki and Brie, I think they just represent the dark period of women's wrestling. They kind of got to the top because of Daniel Bryan and John Cena. I don't want to get into that. So anyway, so the Iron Woman for this Women's Royal Rumble match is Charlotte Flair. She entered the match at number 1 and lasted about 56 minutes. Not 59 minutes, sorry, my apology. Who eliminated her? Who eliminated Charlotte? I think it was Lash Legend. And Last Legend, I think the MVP for this women, well, technically two, Sol Roca, but like the woman who eliminated the most women's in the women's Rumble match is Last Legend. You know, you could say she's kind of like the MVP of this match. You know, she eliminated, what was it, 8? 5 or 8? I can't remember, but anyway, yeah, the final 3 was, but yeah, we got the return of Tiffany Stratton. You know, we haven't seen her since, I think it was in the autumn. She injured her knee, and yeah, she dropped the women's title to Jade Cargill. Yeah, the final 3 was Liv Morgan, Sol Roca, and yeah, Tiff Strand. So anyway, like I said, there was not a lot. There was not a lot. You know, you got like women in tag teams. You know, accidentally limited their partners. Like Charlotte was in a tag team with Alexa Bliss, eliminated Alexa. I think it was Kairi Sane accidentally eliminate Asuka. Anyway, so and then you got like Liv turning on Raquel Rodriguez. You know, the part of the Judgment Day. You know, I think this was after Rhea hit eliminated Roxanne with the was it the Razor's Edge? I think she Razor's Edge Roxanne out of the ring. I think it was onto the other women outside. I think it was is it Bailey Lyra? I simply do not know. And then you got Raquel Rodriguez eliminate Rhea Ripley with the was it? She hit like her finisher. Was it the Tejada bomb? It's called. She eliminated Rhea, and then I think Liv eliminate. Liv eliminated Raquel Rodriguez. So yeah, Sol Roca, she had a good performance in her first Rumble match. You know, I kind of impressed with her. You know, she had a good like match against Bayley in the Saturday night's main event. Almost call it December to Dismember, but it's actually Saturday night main event. You know, the same show that John Cena's final match. You know, she hit like was it the Soul Snatcher? She did like a double Soul Snatcher. Who? I think it was on maybe Liv and Tiff. I can't remember. I think I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, the final 3 was Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, and Sol Roca. I think they copied the same spot from the women's Royal Rumble match from 3 years ago. You know, you had on that same Royal Rumble match, you had it was the same Royal Rumble match that Rhea Ripley won. You know. Anyway, so not Rhea. I keep calling her Rhea, but she got eliminated. But Liv eliminated Sol Roca last, hit the Oblivion to eliminate her. It was, I think it was on the ring. I think it was on the ring apron. Yeah, she eliminated her. So Liv Morgan won the 2026 Royal Rumble match for the women, and it's a bit long overdue. You know, I think like in these 2 years, like Liv should have won. You know, it's funny, like 3 years ago in the 2023 Royal Rumble match for the women, you know, she entered the number 2, survived like going to the distance, you know, but she got eliminated by Rhea Ripley, you know, that year's winner. And then 1 year later she came back, she got eliminated last by Bayley, and I think Liv winning the Rumble match, I think it was the right call, man. I think it was a right call. Like I said, though, I think some of these wrestlers for the women, I think they're not quite there yet. You know, if they just like Sol Roca, if they really like, she's from NXT. You know, she let me see if she like won this Rumble match, and it's not, and then by the time we get to WrestleMania and the build is not that good, I don't think it'll be a massive backfire. Like, and you got like wrestlers, I think like really like if Tiff win it, it'll be a bit forced. I feel like some of these guys like Tiff and Charlotte and Rhea, I think they already had their son. They already had moment in the sun for now. I think I think they'll get another shot in the main event or win another world title in the future, but not right now. So I forgot to mention this. Becky got eliminated by Natalya. You know, this because Becky Lynch is the that was really the shock of this women's Rumble match. You know, Becky got eliminated by Natalya, or I think she's gone by Natty Neidhart. You know, she's been doing her gimmicks outside of WWE. You know, I think she's still under contract, but wrestling in the Indies. She wrestled in I think it was the JCW, the Bloodsport event. You could tell like her gimmick is got that MMA vibe. So anyway, so she turned heel. She's kind of in this feud with Maxi Dupree. She calls Maxi. Maxine Dupree. The women's IC title match against Becky Lynch. So yeah, so Natty eliminated Becky. I'm hinting they're gonna do some triple threat match down the road. Becky, Maxi, and Natty. Whether it's at WrestleMania, whether it's at Honor Raw, whether it's at Elimination Chamber, you know, it'd be fun to see. So, yeah, Liv winning the Rumble match, I think it was a right call. I'm hinting, this is my prediction, that she's gonna get kicked out of the Judgment Day. I think they were planning this, you know, since like Roxanne is infiltrated into the group. You know, I could see causing this rift, you know, doing this love triangle between her and Liv and Dominic. You know, I think like it's going to happen. I don't think they'll kick Raquel Rodriguez out of the group, you know, because she was briefly in a feud with Stephanie Falquer. So I don't see a triple threat match. I think this is leaning towards Liv. Maybe a triple threat match, but I think maybe Stephanie versus Stephanie, you know, Falquer and Liv Morgan at WrestleMania 42. So who knows? We got until the mid-April until WrestleMania 42. So anyway, so yeah, it was a filler Rumble match. Not bad, but not great. Could be a lot better. So, you know, people say Paige coming back, but it's more unlikely. I don't think she'll travel to Saudi Arabia. But anyway, so let's move on to the next match. So the next match is the only non-talent. Well, actually, anyway, so the next match we got AJ Styles versus Gunther. You know, if AJ loses, he must retire. This is technically match of the night, man. It's a good back and forth between AJ and Gunther. You know, they had the match a few weeks ago on Raw in Dusseldorf. So this is the rematch. You know, like Gunther won. He beat AJ on Raw to set up this match at the Royal Rumble. So yeah, it was a really good match. You know, I think like it was a good. You know, AJ's like he's not really a high flyer. He's a high flyer. Gunther is more of the technical style. I think sometimes with Gunther matches, you know, I saw it could be a little boring because his style, he does the technical style wrestling. I have no problem with that. You know, sometimes it gets really boring. Let me say they're doing some rest hold. It gets really boring, you know. It's just like boring the crowd, you know. But besides that, you know, I think AJ bled on the forearm. I don't know what caused the bleed. Like, you had Gunther, like, I think he powerbombed AJ through a table or slammed him onto the announce desk. He kind of slammed him through the LED electrical ring post. So besides that, you know, I like this one spot. You know, Gunther was going for the power bomb, but AJ, I think he countered it and hit his own power bomb for the near fall. I think he hit the springboard 450 splash. I think he hit Gunther with the Styles class for the near fall. You know, Gunther low blow AJ and powerbomb for the near fall. There's a lot of near falls and really good. This is in the same situation of Gunther's match against John Cena in January. You know, not January. In Saturday Night's main event in December. I think the crowd were really hot. You know, for this match. You know, I think like Gunther locked AJ with the I think it was the Boston leg grab. AJ locked in the calf crusher onto Gunther, but reached the ropes. I think he hit his locked in, applied the sleeper hold onto him. So anyway, it was a really good match. Not saying match of the night, not match of the night, but match of the year. It was too early for that. We're still, you know, we've got a long year to go. But anyway, so in the end, Gunther locking the sleeper hold onto AJ Styles. Instead of tapping out, you know, because Gunther's bragging like he's gonna make AJ tap out. He did with John Cena, so he tapped John Cena out like a little bitch, but this time AJ passed out, so Gunther won this match and once again retired. Another legend, you know, he retired one of WCW's homegrown talent, as in Goldberg, and then he retired of WWE's biggest homegrown talent like John Cena. Now he's just retired TNA's homegrown talent like in AJ Styles, so like, what's next for Gunther? Don't know. In the end, AJ was not crying, but got emotional. He was about to take off his glove. The fans chanting no, but he put it on. Did his taunt. I think he did his taunt on the stageway, and that was it. That was the end of AJ Styles' run in WWE, because he said he's going to retire in 2026. It's funny that a decade ago, he made his debut in the WWE at the Royal Rumble, and then 10 years on, he ended his career in WWE. And you know, I think AJ had a good run in WWE. I think he had some ups and downs. You know, he won everything. He's been WWE champion, he's been Intercontinental champion, United States champion, he's been tag team champion. He's done it. You know, I feel like AJ. I think it's around 2026. I think like when he first came back from injury. I think 2025. I feel like AJ. I think AJ is starting to wind down his career. I think you can tell like he's starting to, like when he first came back, he just starting to wind down his career. Like he put over like Logan Paul, you know, he feuded with was it Karrion Kross? You know, he's like he's not in a high profile storyline, but he's kind of like, you know, winding down his career. Yeah, AJ is like 48. He's been in the company or been in the business for, since 99, I think. You know, he was in WCW for a cup of coffee in the dying run, you know, before the company went out of business. I think AJ will likely probably end his career in TNA, because he showed up on TNA's first show on AMC. I can see AJ likely again inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame for this year. He'll probably have one more match at Bound for Glory. I think like AJ's WrestleMania matches, I think got criticized over the years, whether it was a match against Jericho, against Nakamura. I think people hated the match against Edge. You know, I think they're just decent matches, but not like bangers, you know, for what it is. You know, but I don't know. But yeah, it was the end of AJ Styles' career in WWE. But and I think I say it was match of the night for Gunther. What's next for Gunther? We don't know. So let's move on to the next match. So the next match, the only title match on the show, Drew McIntyre defending the belt against Sami Zayn. I'm going to keep it short and simple. Bit weaker. than the last match, but it was a good match. But the crowd was dead. I think that I think doing a show in Saudi Arabia, I think sometimes the crowd could be a little bit dead, like just quiet. You know, I don't want to get into whole. Is it a mistake? Was it a mistake to do the Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, because they're going to do WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia next year, but that's another story for another time. But anyway, the match was good. Like, I think one moment in the match, Sammy was going for the I think he hit Drew with a springboard plancher. He hit the move, but at the same time injured his lower back, and then he's selling the lower back, I think he was one moment of the match, trying to hit Drew with the blue Thunder powerbomb onto him, but selling the back at the same time. Drew kind of worked on the back for a little bit. I think he slammed or powerbombed Sammy through the announce desk. So I'm trying to keep it short and simple. I think he did. I think Sammy, did he hit the Avuna kick? I think he hit the Avuna kick onto Drew for the near fall. He hit Drew hit like two future shot DDTs onto Sammy, but I think one spot like Sammy was going for the Avuna kick. I think he got away. I think Drew got away. Sammy's leg got caught on the ropes and Drew hit him with the Claymore. So I think it did hit the exploder. Yeah, hit the exploder. But I think he hit the Avuna kick. Hit it was the blue the blue thunder bomb onto Drew. I'm trying to remember this. So I watched it once, and then so in the end, Drew hit not one but two claymores onto Sami Zayn for the win. It's predictable, and it makes sense. I think Drew just won the title. He beat Cody for the belt in that 3 stages of hell match on the first SmackDown of the year. I think Sammy was more appealing to this Arabic crowd, because Sammy's Canadian. I'm referring to Sami Zayn, not Sami Callihan, but anyway, Sammy's from. I think he's Muslim at the same time, because this is a Muslim country, but I think it's a slow burner for Drew, because this is Drew's third reign as WWE champion. It's probably his first WWE title reign with the crowd, because his last 2 reigns he did it without the crowds, because we were in the pandemic. It was at the Thunderdome, so he never got a chance. He never got that experience of being a world champion with the crowd. What is the crowd's reaction as Drew is champion? We don't know. So it's just what it is. So it was a decent match, not great. I think the show's kind of a filler show. I'll get to my overall rating in the end. So moving on to the main event. So the main event, we've got the men's Royal Rumble match. I think it's better than the women's Rumble match from the opener, but it's not saying too much. There's a lot to talk about. Not the greatest Rumble match, but it's still good. Anyway, so the build-up, it's funny. Number 1 and number 2, we got this. I think you had this beef on the YouTube show between Paul Heyman and Adam Pearce, because Pearce is kind of feuding with the Vision. I think he suspend and unsuspend Braun Breaker. So anyway, Obi Femi is number 1. Oh no, actually number 2, but number 1 is Braun Breaker. He's about to get into the ring, but he got assaulted with this mysterious guy with the hoodie, beating him down. I think he hit Braun Breaker with the curb stomp, and then I think he put him back in the. I think he put him back in the ring. He got eliminated by Obafemi. I'll get to him a bit shortly. But who is this mysterious guy in the mask? People say it's Seth Rollins, because I don't know. I think it will be Seth. I speculate that it could be Adam Pearce. We don't know. We got a long way until we'll probably find out this week's episode of Raw. But if it was Seth, some speculating that Seth, he got kicked out by Division by the other members of the group. Braun and Bronson Reed and Logan Paul. And all of a sudden, he got injured his shoulder. And all of a sudden, he just appeared in Saudi Arabia, attacked Braun Breaker. And then it'd be weird if they tend to do that, and all of a sudden he's back in the division. It's just it's I can't really react to this. It'll be so confusing. But I don't know. It could be Seth Rollins. I don't know. It's intriguing. I was disconnected with the whole Austin Theory in the division. But to be fair, I think he's starting to improve, growing on me a little bit. I think he's booked okay. Since he's did this storyline, helping the Division, winning, winning against CM Punk's group team at War Games. Anyway, so there's a lot to talk about. You got the AAA guys the Parker. This is the fourth installment of that guy, because the original La Parka passed away a couple of years ago. We got Mr. Iguana. Kind of had some funny spots. He has a funny spot with the two El Grande Americanos. One of them's Chad Gable, who just came back from injury, and the other one is basically Ludwig Kaiser. We'll probably get a one-on-one match between both El Grande Americanos, and which one's on mask. I kind of like the character. It's kind of grown on me. It's comedy. It's sometimes with Chad Gable, he gives off a lot of Kurt Angle vibe with that. He's kind of good in the ring and also got some personality and charisma. We got Obi Femi was good. He eliminated 5 people in the Rumble match. I think guys like Braun Breaker and Rey Mysterio and Rusev. You had this confrontation between him and Brock. Was it I think Cole point out and quote Gorilla Monsoon, the irresistible force versus the immovable object. Unfortunately they never got that. They're hinting they'll probably do that. They'll probably do. I want to see that Brock versus Obi, at WrestleMania. That would be really good. Obi Femi's got that look. I kind of like his gimmick. He's from I think he's from Nigeria. This African warrior thing. It's not really pissing off people or stereotype like Africans, but I kind of like it. So, Brock got eliminated by You had this moment of the stare down between Brock and Obi Femi. You had Miz came out, didn't do. I thought you got eliminated by Obi Femi and Brock, but he didn't. So anyway, so we got the debut of Royce. I'm gonna say it right now. We got the formerly known as Powerhouse Hobbs. Now he's called Royce Keys. I don't want to get into his name. The name changing Will Hobbs' name. That's another story for another time. He had a decent showing in the Rumble match. He had him and Cody had that competition, the stare down. Because they're both former TNT champions. And anyway, did they feud? I think Cody did feud with Team Taz in, was it the summer and the autumn of 2020? I don't know. So anyway, Brock got eliminated by Brock eliminated Obafemi. I think he got eliminated both by LA Knight and Cody Rhodes. Cody got eliminated by Drew McIntyre. He basically Claymore kicked Cody off the ring apron because I think for Drew, he had a good plan to make sure Cody will never get a shot at his title. I think it's for the best, but I think we've seen a lot of the Cody Drew. They've been feuding in late 2025. They had that blow off on SmackDown in January, the first SmackDown of January in Germany. I think it was in Berlin. So anyway, I'm trying to think here. So the Iron Man is Javon Evans. I think he lasted about 50 plus minutes. Roman came out, who eliminated the most. It's between Roman Reigns and Obafemi. Both eliminated 5. I think 5. Shocking to me. I checked it on the Wikipedia page. I thought it was Obafemi eliminated. I thought he eliminated 8, but he eliminated 5. Anyway, so I think that's it. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think I covered most of it. So, anyway, so the final four is Gunther, Roman Reigns, Logan Paul, and Randy Orton. I think Reigns eliminated Orton. And Gunther. No. Reigns eliminated Logan Paul, and Gunther, I think, eliminated Orton. Orton did the RKO. He was RKO. He was so hard, hitting RKOs on Javon Evans, and Logan Paul. RKO out of nowhere. I think Cody hit him with the Cody the Cody cutter. Jey Uso came in this Rumble match. The previous winner, last year's winner, did his shtick. Roman, join in, but instead not doing the yeet, but doing with the fingers. Was it roll it back? So I can't remember what it is. He got eliminated Jey Uso. So they had this competition. They had this fight. Continue this. You can say this new developed rivalry between Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu, because Jacob Fatu cost Cody the championship against Drew. So this is probably leading up to Cody versus Jacob Fatu, down the road. Anyway, so Roman won the Royal Rumble match for the second time, the first time since 2015. I think the wrong person gone over. I think they should have given it to Gunther, mate. It's funny, Gunther was in the final 2 a couple of years back in 2023, lost to Cody, and now all of a sudden 3 years later he's just lost to Roman. I think they should have done it on Gunther. I think they should have really give this to Gunther, because Gunther is so red hot right now, retiring John Cena, retiring AJ Styles early in the show. He should have really capitalized on that. The guy's been red hot since he debuted on the main roster. The guy is he became the longest reigning intercontinental champion of all time. The guy won King of the Ring. The guy was a world champion, not once but twice. And now he's just retiring legends like Goldberg and John Cena and AJ Styles. I was predicting that Gunther would win this Rumble match. My fear that, if Gunther is not going to win the Chamber, depending if they're going to do the men's elimination chamber for the world title, I felt like those wins over Cena, AJ, it's all to come to nothing. I think Gunther's the top heel right now. I'll be fine. They're gonna do, it'd be cool if they do Punk versus Gunther too. Gunther get his win back over Punk, because Punk beat Gunther for the title at SummerSlam last summer. You know, and he took some time off, came back, doing his career-ending gimmick. The career, what is it? The career killer. That's a cool name. It's a play on words of Randy Orton's legend killer because back in the day, Orton was the legend killer, feuding with legends like The Undertaker and Mick Foley. Gunther is now just ending careers like Goldberg and Cena and Styles. But with Roman as Roman as the Rumble winner. I think, like I said, Roman had his moment in the sun. He had his moment in the sun. Let's be honest. Going back when he was the tribal chief in the autumn of 2020, he had his moment in the sun. He went on to have one of the best, he had the best world title runs, not just in the modern era of WWE, probably the best title run of all time. He's done his time. He's fought everyone in the company. Maybe they could probably do Roman versus Gunther in the future. But I don't mind if they're gonna do Roman Reigns versus CM Punk for the title. That's another match we never saw before. Even though they fought in that triple threat match at Mania last year to close out night one of Mania 41. You had Heyman turn on both CM Punk and Roman Reigns to build in the seeds and form the Fission. But we never saw a one-on-one match. I know they had a match years ago in 2013 when Punk was feuding, when Roman was part of the Shield. But I don't know. I'm really I don't know, man. I think Roman needs to show up on Raw and SmackDown, or he needs to appear on Raw or on weekly TV more often. Otherwise, I think it's the mistake, because Gunther is there for the long run. He's a full-timer, even though he's in his late 30s. I think he's 2 years younger than Roman. Roman is only 40, but you don't see Roman a lot. We haven't saw Roman since Survivor Series. We haven't seen Brock since Survivor Series. Because I think he announced on an episode of Pat McAfee's podcast on the phone that he's going to compete in the Rumble match. We don't know, but it was a good Rumble match, but I think the wrong person won. The wrong person won, in my opinion. My overall rating of the 2026 Royal Rumble PLE is a 6 out of 10. This is technically a one-match show. I'll get to the pros first before we get to the cons. So the pros I put is AJ Styles versus Gunther, match of the night. And by default, I'm going to put the men's Royal Rumble match as second. But besides that, man, it was just like the things I put in the con, I think is Drew versus Sammy. Despite it was a decent match, but the crowd was dead. It was kind of a little bit mediocre and predictable. And the women's Rumble match, like I said, it was just probably the weakest women's Rumble match I saw in its 8-year history. And I think the show was a bit too predictable. I feel like these Saudi Arabian, these WWE pay-per-view / PLEs shows in Saudi Arabia, they're just basically just glorified house shows. So, but anyway, we got a long way to go. We got the Elimination Chamber. That will be at the end of February, and then in mid-April we got WrestleMania 42. So, what's your thoughts on the 2026 Royal Rumble and this video? Please leave your thoughts on the comment section below. Smash that button, click the like, click the bell, subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube, be part of the Central Unit for more wrestling videos and more. And this is the Central Man officially signing out. Check you later.